Hi, my name is Mel. I'm a physical therapist assistant student at Houston Community College. And the reason I'm making this video is because when we had our lab for basic patient care, there wasn't a real lot of time spent on the wheelchair. I myself am not very familiar with it, and I live pretty far away, so it's quite a haul to get myself to campus in order to practice. And so, in order to review for our lab exam, I thought it would be really helpful if I had a video that went over everything. And I have to imagine that there are probably some people who are also traveling from far away and also didn't completely master the wheelchair. And so hopefully this video is helpful to y'all.
So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to open up the wheelchair. In order to get it fully open, you'll have to press down to get it fully seated. And then when you're putting it away, to put it away, you'll do the same thing in reverse order. So I'm going to pull up on the seat here to kind of scoot it in, and then finish it by pushing in on the sides. So I'm going to do that one more time. So I'm going to open up and then push on the seat to get it locked into place. Now the first thing that I want to do before I put a patient in the wheelchair is I want to make sure both wheels are locked. So I'm going to take each lever on both sides and I'm going to push the lever down. That keeps the chair from moving, right? So if I unlock both of these, if I pull them up, now the chair is moving. Now if I put them down, now the chair is locked in place.
So here's a close-up of locking the wheelchair with the standard arms. So you're gonna pull this lever down and you can see now this metal piece is up against the wheel and it's not moving. If I unlock it, this piece is moved out to the side and now the wheel can freely turn, okay? So we always wanna lock it when we're putting a patient in the wheelchair.
I notice that the foot is maybe too long. I have a really short patient and I want to adjust it. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to swing this out to the side like this, and then I'm going to lift this off of its two pins, and then I'm going to want to fold this piece in because as you can see there are these little pins here and it's really hard to get in there when this thing's in the way. So I'm just going to fold this out of the way, which it sticks a little bit, but now both of these pins here are easily accessible. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip up this lever right here, okay? And then I'll push in these pins, which I'll need a little force on the floor to do this, but now you can see that I've shortened the foot. If I needed to make it longer, I would just do the opposite. I'd push in these pins, have some tension on the bottom, and I would pull up, okay? So there you have it. That's adjusting the foot. Now when I have it at a length that I'm happy with, that I think will fit my patient really well, I'm going to put the two pins back in place. So get these both seated correctly, and then I'm going to swing it back into place, okay? So that's how you adjust the length. You could do it while it's on here, but you know, there are a lot of moving parts, and if you have a patient sitting here already, if you haven't planned ahead, then that might be a little bit difficult to do. The next thing that we're going to go over is how to take the arm off or to adjust the arm pieces. What you're going to do is there's a little lever on the back and you're going to turn it to the side. Now what that's going to do is just like there were little pins to adjust the feet, that's going to bring the pin inside so that now this moves freely, okay? So if I turn it to the side, you can see I can't move it up at all. But then when I turn it to the side, the pin goes inside, so it's no longer blocking the arm. And then all I need to do is press in this pin here, and that'll also push in the other pin that's sticking out down here, keeping the arm piece in place. So now I'm ready to just pull out the arm, right? And say this was like a desk style wheelchair, and if I wanted to flip it around because my patient needed to get up, and I'll show you a desk one in a minute, but with the desk one, you would have a really low piece here, which the patient wouldn't be able to push off easily. So then that would be a situation where I would want to turn the arm around, okay? So now I'm going to put this back into place. And lock it. All right, so you can see This wheelchair has different arms. This is the desk style arms. And the reason it's called a desk style arm is because you can push the patient right up to a desk or a table, and this part is low enough that it'll go underneath, which comes in handy. But if you have a patient that can't get up out of the chair and they need support in order to push off, this is not really going to give them the support that they need. So I was talking about before, wanting to switch around the arms. This would be a situation where you would want to switch around the arms. Obviously with the other one, if you switch around the arms, it's not going to make a difference. It's going to look exactly the same way as it did before, but this one would be functionally different. So this wheelchair with desk style arms is a little bit different than the standard arms. It only has a little pin that you need to push on in the front. There's nothing in the back. So as soon as I push on this, I can pull it out and I can flip it around, and then I can put it back in, and then that pin is going to lock it in place in the back. So I'll need to push this down in order to get this seated correctly. So now you can see if my patient needs to use the arm, they can use this to help them get up.
So this is a close-up on the push pin for the arm piece. So you just push this in and then you'll pull up.
So now this is looking at the desk arm the way it usually would be on. So now you can see that the little push pin is in the front. You press it down. Now this pin is going to come out. That's the one that locks it in place. You push it down and then this slides right out. So this is a close-up of the brake. So you can see when I push this forward, this metal piece sits against the wheel so it can't turn, right? If I release it, it's not sitting against the wheel, so it freely moves. Locked, unlocked. And remember, when you're locking it, there's one on both sides because there are two wheels, so you have to make sure you lock the one on the other side. The method is identical, so I'm not going to go through it on the other side, but that's how you lock a wheelchair.
All right, so now I'm going to do a close-up of swinging the leg piece out to the side. So you're just going to move this and slide it out to the side, but you'll notice that there are two pins. There's one here and there's one down here, okay? So you're going to want to lift this up off of those two pins to remove it. All right, so now I'm going to show this from this side. So I'm going to lift up this lever and turn it out to the side. And then all I need to do is lift up this piece and remove it. So now when you're putting it back in place, you want to make sure that it sits on top of both of those pins and slides down. So you can see both pins in place, and then I can just slide this back around and it snaps into place. So this is the standard wheelchair, and I'm just going to show how to remove the leg. So I'm going to pull on this lever, pull this out to the side. You can see, just like with the other wheelchair, there are pins. So there's the top pin. Let me come around the back. There's the top pin and there's the bottom pin. So I'm just going to lift this off of both of those pins and take it off. Then I just swing it back around and it will lock into place.
Say now I have the patient seated in the wheelchair and I want them to get comfortable, and let's just say that they have an injury on their foot and I need to raise their leg. So let's go through how we would go about raising the leg and making them comfortable. All right, so most likely you'll want to support their legs. So you're going to fold these two pieces in, right? So you can have their feet rest on both of these, and then the backs of their calves can rest right here. Now say it's the right leg that I need to have lifted. All I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up on this, and this will stay in place. Now let's say that I did this in error, okay, and I don't actually want their foot to be up high. In order to release this, I'm going to have to pull this lever over here forward, and then I can lower it, okay? So you just raise it up like this, and it's going to automatically lock into place. But if you need to lower it, or say you raised it up too high and this is uncomfortable for the patient, all you need to do is pull on this lever, and then you can lower it right back down. When we want to raise a patient's leg up, it goes up by itself and it'll lock into place. But say that it's too high and you want to decrease the height, you're going to need to push this lever down, and then this will go back down. Now we've gone through all the levers and how to make any necessary adjustments that you might need for your patient. So the last thing is when you need to go somewhere, you're gonna flip these two levers up to unlock it, and then you can push them wherever you need to bring them. When you're done using the wheelchair for the day and you need to put it away and store it, I'm going to show you how to most efficiently, space efficiently store the wheelchair. So I'm going to fold up these two calf pieces first, then I'm going to fold up the feet pieces, and then the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to fold up the chair, and now you can see it has a very small footprint for my storage closet.